What is going on in the Loop fans? It is Drew here and I am at Phantasialand. So, I'm in the park now. This gate right here is my hotel gate. The building right there is my hotel and I am in the park. It is amazing to me. I literally walked out of my hotel room, down the stairs, and I was in the park in 30 seconds. And what a amazing looking environment we have. Starting off our tour in Chinatown, which is kind of the back of the park. But I'm in the Ming Lao Hotel, which is the 4-star hotel here on Phantasialand's property. And just look at this. This is a theme park. It is so detail-oriented and themed. It's amazing and pretty. So this is Chinatown. This is where I had dinner last night. Very pretty looking. Got the awesome atmospheric entertainment background music going on here. It's crazy to me, the park is just opened and it is packed. But also crazy is how many express passes the hotel gives you. The girlfriend and I each got 7 line skipping passes for today. And then at the end of the day, we get an hour of exclusive ride time on Taron, their new roller coaster. So this is a quick walkthrough of Chinatown. And now on to seeing what else we can find in the park and what trouble we can get into. Like messing around with this guy. Popping here out of Chinatown, and what land would you call this? What land is this? Do you remember? No, I don't. But up here now is the Coronado Adventure. I used to be the Michael Jackson experience, actually, believe it or not. I'm not making that up. It genuinely was. But that'll be the first ride we hop on today, figure out how to get to the ride. And let me tell you, it's just, the park is so immersive and amazing that even entrances to lines are very detailedly hidden. So as I walk around, I kind of have to dig around. I find a ride entrance. Turns out this was not for the Coronado Adventure. This is for the little family drop tower ride. So I guess I keep wandering around until I find it. One thing I like doing in a park that I haven't been to before is spend some time here. We were here at Phantasialand last night. We are here again today all day. And not really using the park map unless I need to find a pooper. I would say it's a lot more enjoyable to wander around and try to explore and figure out where we're going. Alright, read some signs. Coronado Adventure this way. Follow them. Do you think they're going the right way? Let's see. Let's go through the caves. Is the cave the right way? I don't know. It seems like an odd way for a ride entrance to be. But it does seem correct. So yeah, yesterday lines were pretty crazy. Today, not as crazy. Maybe that's what we're hoping for. We also stealing the term from Tony Clark with a lot of those line skippies, so shouldn't be too bad. Although this seems awful. I'm hoping to find like a wait time sign somewhere. I don't know. The line's out of the entrance. I don't like that. Exit pass time. That seems too long. Or maybe the ride's not even. Oh, it has to be open. People were going by. I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going. Just walking along this pathway here. There's the station. Alright. So the answer is Mexico. This park section is Mexico. Oh, it has a drive tire lift. That's cool. Abandoned photo booth here, but oh my. Getting off Coronado Adventure. Wow. For a ride that they have you take your bags on, this might be the craziest roller coaster that you can take your bags on. And I mean, I've been on Rock and Roller Coaster. What an insane, smooth but Violent roller coaster. All I gotta say is definitely an above average mine train. Usually you ride them once and you're like, yeah, I'm good. But that one, I could ride that again. Fun times. So I guess either they were having troubles with people finding their new rides or something. So they have these A-frames set up showing you the new location of their new land. But there's several places that look like they would have entered the new land, however they've been fenced off. So I don't know if it's for crowd control or something like that. We don't need to go in there. We will do a further walkthrough of this area in a little bit. But this is where Taron and oh man, the Vekoma backwards one. Raik. It's really interesting. I'm struggling with all of the attraction names for attractions that aren't in English. Kind of embarrassing, but that's been my problem all vacation. Taron is at a 90. We have exclusive hotel time later, so that's when we'll experience that. But look how awesome this whole area looks. As I kind of like dive you into the area here, see all the twisted track, everything. Plethora of airtime on this ride. I will say, from an enthusiast standpoint, there's definitely way more airtime than I would have guessed from any POV video or anything like that. I would say it's a must try. Multiple launches. A lot of good theming. And 90-minute wait. That seems like a high amount. Something I wouldn't want to wait for. A pretty efficient team. We're the first one going. It's going around. We'll come up over there. Pretty neat. I don't have a lot of negative things to say. It's pretty. Train to launch. It seems like they're actually not as efficient this morning as they were yesterday. Maybe a different crew, different cruise time. But this is the cool part. The launch is so loud. You can fly out of here, and then you're way up in the air. Side's awesome. Now, this over here, that's about the other train, the other family coaster. Amazing the park built 2 roller coasters in one year. I don't know many parks that do that and are still successful. It was a very Six Flags move from how we like to call it the stupid Six Flags era. It was very fun, but it was bad business. Over on the other side here, we've got the world's steepest log flume. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not even going to fact check it. I love all of the things on the park map that talk about all the different rides here. The log flume was listed as the world's steepest log flume. We rode a Haunted Mansion style ride and it was listed as the world's longest underground underground ghost ride. Little airtime hop there. I can't tell if you get on that web, but it's definitely pretty. Definitely pretty. And then of course Black Mamba. We'll walk through that pathway later as well. In the background there. Alright, continuing on. I will say, for as crowded as this park is, it's not very big, and so it feels even more crowded, which is kind of stressful, I guess, for a visitor. There's so many crowds that you constantly have to dodge in and out of here, but worth it for all the prettiness, I would say. Entering into Berlin section of the park. Berlin's kind of the main midway. Makes sense, we're in Germany. I don't know how close to Berlin we are, since that's not the airport I'm flying in and out of. But I was told Germany is the size of Ohio and Indiana if you mix them together. So I guess we can't be too far away from Berlin. But this is the Berlin section. Iconed by the swinging ride here with the water that you just missed. It's pretty awesome. Something that really was neat here yesterday is they set up a show in this area. People just kind of sat on the steps and watched the show. And I thought that was awesome that a show stage venue kind of popped up out of nowhere. I have no idea if that show was planned or if it was the end of the night spectacular, but it was still really neat to have that happen. Also, something odd that I was not expecting is the park was so busy yesterday, they extended park hours by an hour and a half. However, they didn't really extend hours by an hour and a half because all the lines close early here. They're not open until park close, they're open until the team members can get out at park close for the most part. So some close 15 minutes beforehand, some close a little bit before that. But all on their own. They were open a little later for us, which was nice. Miles de Chocolate had a 10-minute wait when we rode yesterday. Now the line is out the entrance. This is their way better than Toy Story Mania, let me tell you. So this seems like Disney budget cut like crazy when they built Toy Story Mania. This one's awesome. The cars are longer, same technology, more interesting things to shoot at, and this is a real winner for me. This is one of the best shooter rides I've been on. Just walking around. Yes. Now, the place isn't open, so I don't know if we're going to get a good image of this or not. But this place is home to some of the cheapest ice cream in the theme park. It's €1.50 for one scoop, or €2 for two scoops. And they're making some right now. You can see a couple of these awesome piles. They were really good. I totally recommend it. I'll definitely get some more ice cream later, and you will see it. Alright, as we come through the glass tunnel, we're now in Fantasy. Now I will say some of the themes are very set, like Chinatown, Mexico, Berlin. Fantasy is kind of up for interpretation as to what Fantasy really is. I mean, we got this ice cream scoop looking octopus thing to play with. A camp bus here, so it looks like this is kind of a kids area too. However, there are some more impressive rides in this section as well. Did not get a chance to walk into this one yet, so you're going to pretty much get my first impressions here as we come through. I love these hanging above the park kind of monorail things. Those look awesome. Themed to a steampunky kind of experience. And then you got your lift them up kind of full rides. And this freaking castle-like building right here. A little further on, you got Bouncy Frog ride over there. Just a very steampunky themed kind of ride, or kind of area. It's kind of neat. You pedal your way up, and the faster you pedal, the higher you go. Which way should we go? This way or that way? This way? Temple of the Nighthawk? Yeah.
Oh, that's the ice.
Oh. How do you think we find the entrance?
Huh?
Okay, the entrance is this way. We're gonna go this way. One thing I will say, the midways are not level at all. There's always change of elevation, whether it be for theming wise. What the hell is going on here? Everyone's just climbing through. It seems so silly. It's probably where we were going, and we're going to have to deal with the fact that everyone just climbed through. That is so silly. Ah, yes, that is exactly where we were going. So Temple of the Nighthawk is a 5-minute wait roller coaster ride. Means we should probably continue walking around for a little bit. since someone is finishing her coffee. Now, Temple of the Nighthawk was labeled as the world's longest indoor roller coaster in Europe. Something along the lines of that, kind of silly. And I feel like we're reaching a dead end of the park. And some toilets! A couple words you need to know when you're in German. Ein Bier means one beer, and Toiletten, which means poopers. Something really interesting about this park is there literally are times in the pathways where you can't find a trash can for miles. And now in this area that has nobody, just kind of a back hallway by a bathroom, you have a handful of them. You got one there in the shadows, and then you've got one here, which I bet you they don't have to ever change. Meanwhile, by the end of the day today, I'll point out, you will see trash everywhere all over the pathways because there are not enough trash cans for people to throw their stuff away. And I guess nobody is as well behaved at a theme park as I am, so people end up littering places. It's just crazy because the park's so beautiful, and it will be covered in litter by the end of the day, which is kind of unfortunate, I guess. But at the same time, that doesn't seem like a guest problem, that seems like a park problem. If you find trash all over the place, that probably means you need more trash cans. Riding Black Mamba yesterday, we waited in a 40-minute line. It was probably about 10 minutes in before we reached our first trash can. Meanwhile, there was just trash covering the first 10 minutes of the line, and that trash can was completely overflowing. The next trash can in line happened right before the station. There wasn't hardly anything in it. It's just really odd. And really the only negative thing I have to say about the park besides that it's crowded. And if a park's crowded, that's a good thing. That means that they're doing well, they can add capacity, all of that kind of good stuff. Now, if a park's crowded and there's long waits for everything and there's only like 4 things to do, then that's a problem. But when you have a plethora of things, some with 90 minutes, some with 5 minutes, then that means you're doing well. That's my feeling anyway. I warn you, the next section you will be entering the men's room. Viewer discretion is advised. Well, this is interesting. There are no actual urinals in here. You just kind of pee in this little hole in the wall. It's like a bar bathroom. I've never seen one of these in a theme park before. Pretty bottles and convenient. Well, walking down the long green tunnel here, that was really dumb. Positives, much better than Euros at the indoor coaster in the dark at Europa Park. Same kind of concept, epic soundtrack. I will say we were in the dark for the whole thing, which was kind of neat. Definitely, probably the longest roller coaster in the dark. But overall, it was just okay. Also, Vekoma, which, as you know, means great things. Now it's time for the Hollywood tour, which is a 5-minute wait and recommended by Japan Drew. So if it's awful, that's his fault. And now we have King Kong. Yeah, it seems like Universal's greatest hits right here on this ride. There's no place like that. There's no place like that. Well, the Hollywood ride was cheesy goodness, dark ride amazing. Totally recommend. I gotta say, I was told you don't get wet on the ride. And that first drop when you go through the waterfall, well, yeah. But, good times, I liked it. Saw some clips. Alright, stepping into this building and you can see wind just soaring above us. They got their 2 sides. I can't wait to try them both. I've heard nothing but amazing things from Windjust, and I sort of sit there and wonder, how can a spinning coaster have amazing things about them? But I've heard nothing but great things about this ride, so it's time for me to try it out. Give you my thoughts, as I always do, once we get off the ride. But I will say, this building looks awesome. I always like when rides interact with pathways and things like that. The fact that you have the ride spinning around our heads appears to be a bit nauseating. And then the ride in the middle doesn't help. But should be an awesome time. Ninjas, fear and force. That way. It's down into the ground. Alright, we just got off the Ninjas. And believe the height. Ride is ridiculously awesome as you can around here. It's not just a spinning coaster. It is much more than that. Now I will say I think I like the beginning of Fear better. I like the beginning of Fear better, the ending of Force better. Both and both. They're both interesting. They're both a little different from each other. Fear starts off a little better. They both spin around in the middle, and then Force ends stronger. Make sure you check out both. I will say the Quick Pass probably absolutely kills this ride's capacity. Pretty much every other vehicle is Quick Pass, which I don't have a problem with since I have the Quick Pass, but there's probably some people here that really do not like the Quick Pass. So recommend getting it. We walked right on to a ride that had a little over an hour wait both sides. So we skipped 2 hours in 5 minutes. Recommend Ninjas 100%. I will say, like everything else in the park, the theme in this ride is top notch too. Any second now, a ride vehicle will come flying out of the tunnel and goes by the water. You don't believe it, let's sleep. Yes. Told you it was coming. As we have Ninjas circling ahead. I learned a little bit about the plot, so I figured I could share it with you. So Ninjas is taking place in a fictional town called Moose Town. It's a deep underground city, a long-lost civilization that women rule. I don't know if that's sexist or not, but that's what this whole theme about it is. I guess that's why there's laundry going on over there, stuff like that. Now, the one thing that I will say, the bathrooms better, as the women's line is out the door and around the corner, and the men's straight walk on. But that's what this city's about. Here we are now at the top of Was Town. You see down there is where we were, and the vehicle's spinning around and fun. It's also awesome because the track is literally right here, right above you, so vehicles can fly around all over the place, right around you. Kind of neat that this ride just kind of interacts with absolutely everything. Except for one of the more unique rides that I've ever been on. Here it comes. Yay! This looks pretty. Also creates a nice little street structure. So, double awesome. Pretty and nice.
Yeah, that's what we got.
People aren't sure where they're going. Neither am I, but let's just probably keep wandering around. It's like a nice little peaceful garden. It's weird. We went from a pathway that was completely mobbed with people to this quiet thing with nice smelling flowers. It's like I accidentally left the park and unaware. Like, if I had to make a phone call, I could do that out here and wouldn't have a problem. It's very quiet. It seems odd. That's a nice little dead fish. There's a pond out here which has some sort of boat ride, I think, on it. At least that's what the map looks like. Oh man, you can hear the roller coaster in there. Not that you guys can hear it on camera, but that's that temple roller coaster ride. You can hear it rumbling around. Good place for a picnic. If you know me, you know I collect theme park keychains for all the parks I go to, and this has to be one of the oddest. It's a sneaker keychain. It says Phantasialand on it. So that's going to be my keychain to represent this park. They have a lot of keychains here. but this one is the most odd. Here's the Main Street section of the park. I feel like I use the term Main Street a lot. It's a Walt Disney term, but it's the same concept here. This is the entrance to the park. It's right behind Europe's largest double-decker carousel. Man, I just, as you can tell, I like the descriptions of all of the attractions they have here. I'll probably read some off on the podcast.
Yeah.
This is our main entrance here, and coming around the corner. Really kind of interesting. I mean, we don't use the main entrance, so it's weird for me to show you the main entrance from inside of the park. But that kid seems really unhappy. I will say, carousel looks pretty. It's looks nicer than the Great American ones. Sorry, little spoon. This carousel's better. I'd say just very iconic looking and the perfect weenie for the park. But here's what's really interesting about this area. So to enter the park, you come in from there and you walk down these stairs. It's such an odd entrance here, down these stairs. Drinking a Coca-Cola Life. It's 50% Winger Zerger and 50% Winger Calorian. I don't know what that means. Maybe
I'm like a sugar and calories.
Oh, I was gonna say half the taste, half the calories. I don't know. Sugar, calories, we'll find out. So, this is the fun house. I really want to go in there, but I'm not waiting 25 minutes for it. I'm hoping it slows down later in the day and we can show you footage of it. If not, you won't see it. But I really want to go in the fun house. Fun houses are fun. This guy's got a ball. He's juggling. Look at him juggle. Is there something cool? Oh, look at that. Oh. Sad day. Alright, now it's time for the tour of the Taron area. It's called Mystery on the English map. It's some crazy word that starts with a K on the German map. I'm not even 100% sure we're in the area of the ride. Because the ride kind of gets really long lines. They limit your way in and out. So there's a lot of passageways that I think in a couple of years will be open to the public. For right now, there's a pit down here that everyone's staring at. It's probably the ride if I were to guess. Yeah. So it's really cool seeing how the ride interacts with the rock. You come up here from the lawn, you go around there. It's really pretty. But, what's going on right now?
It's being a shit-a-man.
What does that mean?
It's always broken down.
Yeah, it's broken down.
No.
Oh man, the ride's amazing, but I knew it was going to happen. I figured at some point today, new ride opens late in the year, but nothing's moving. Nothing's been moving for a few minutes now. This is kind of the exit pathway here. As you come around, you exit into this themed area. So it's really neat. It's pretty. You got a little restaurant kind of area here. I mean, I feel the park's frustration on this one. Your area looks so pretty. It's your iconic new ride. Oh, it's moving. I hear it. I'm sure we'll see it twist around again at some point. Just look at all this track. There's so much track in this area. It's not even funny. There it is above us. So it's posting a 90-minute wait, not that you can see that. However, it will be 15 minutes or less for us tonight during hotel DRT. We'll check it out then. Might even be less than that in the hotel here. This is the other new ride for the area. I don't even know how much of this you can see from the balcony, but it too has out the entrance queue like crazy. Can't even see what it's posting. The ride is also kind of fun. So it's one of those Vekoma Junior boomerangs. It's really neat how it works. Alright, here goes up this hill backwards. Very smooth ride, pretty comfortable lap restraints. Although I will say, accommodating to all means not very accommodating to adults. I didn't cross my legs a little bit, but so you can fly down, go through the station, you do a couple of twists and turns, and you eventually end up over here. And then you go up, and you do it again backwards. I will say the coolest part of this, they built 2 new rides in 1 year. I don't know how often that happens at many parks in Europe, but I'm glad they did it. Yeah, they built a new land, 2 new rides. It looks awesome. So I kind of like this. This right here was the theme of the land there. You can see the words on there. That's what the land's called in German. There's one more shower screen. Twisted Vekoma craziness. Coming through. I might be able to see it. I think if I pop over here, I might be able to show you the other part of the ride. Maybe. Yeah. There we go. So it comes around the corner there. And up that way. Oh, 2 trains. So this is what I was talking about, random fences that seem to be temporary while the land is still in capacity control. You can pop in and out of it right now. However, sometimes the door is closed. You didn't push your way through like an American. I actually want to say that I feel, God, this is going to sound ethnocentric, but I always thought Americans were rude. I really do not think we are the rudest culture anymore. Either that or we're on our best behaviors because we're visiting. But look at this. This is the insanity of this park right now. This is a Thunder Canyon style high capacity log flume ride. 110-minute waits. And by high capacity Thunder Canyon log flume ride, I mean a whitewater rafting experience. I know there's no log flume in there, idiot. But this is the world's highest one, according to park maps. There's so many people. And like, this park is in slow season of daily operation. 15 minutes. Well, that's surprising me. I was expecting something way crazier than that. Alright. I can do 15 minutes for a drop tower. Whoa, this is the first time I'm seeing the outside world from this park. This seems like a slip up from them. Walking up to the castle, getting my steps in. That kid's running. They'll be tired later. I don't know. I don't know, just now. It's so pretty. just finished Mystery Castle, and so it was interesting. But one thing I will say is neat is I've never been on a drop tower where I faced people before. So you know how like the Max Air style swing rides, you have some that face in, some that face out. Well, this one, this drop tower, you all face the center, which is kind of interesting. There's 6 different dropping pods, and you all kind of face each other as you're going. I thought it was dumb. I was expecting to actually free fall, and I didn't even come close to free falling. Yeah, so, but it was cool, and it's also really neat being in a drop tower that's inside of a like Tower of Terror. You still Tower of Terror, you still get to see the outside. Nope, not in this one. You stay inside the whole time. So that was all right. And now we're in this interesting garden with flowers. This would be a smoking section if this was an American park. However, the whole park is a smoking section in a European park, except for the lines. So this is not a smoking section. Well, it is a smoking section, but it's also a non-smoking section. It's a sit around and look at the tower. Interesting. It's a new entrance to the gate. I didn't know this existed. The park has several entrances, I guess. Guess they kind of just have you enter wherever you feel like it. But none of the gates seem big enough to handle the amount of people who are at the park. That's all. Also, it seems like park hours got extended because lines were originally closing at 5:45, and now all the entrances to the lines are closing at 7:15. Yeah, we are confused. I'm not mad, but excited, I guess. Get to be in the park longer and walk around even more. And you know what also that means?
What?
If Taron finally opens, we get night rides on it.
Yeah.
Ride's still closed. Here's a quick pan of our hotel. And that's our entrance to the park. So that pagoda there is in the park. That's outside of the park. We walk through these doors. We take the elevator. And the Coronado rides coming through here. You get through here now. Switching over into Africa. Africa theme section is home to Black Mamba. It's also home to the top spin ride we were talking about earlier in this video, or maybe later in the video, depending on how it got edited. Africa also has its own hotel. It's the hotel that's also just as themed, but not quite as nice, I believe. That's what I read online. I don't really know. But here we are in Africa. I would say it looks very much how I would picture a theme park in Africa to look. I'm not sure this actually looks like how real Africa looks. But it's certainly almost as pretty as Animal Kingdom, but better. Here's some of Black Mamba hidden up in the trees there. You can see the train going up the lift. And then we won't see it again until it comes to the loop right here. So I guess we'll just kind of focus on the loop here. Because it's in the building now. It's going to dive down here in a second. And I told you it was coming. And now it kind of just ends up over here somewhere. So at some point it's going to come here through the net. I'm not really sure when. The whole ride is a twisted seal mess. There's one right there. It does a lot of those inversions. I would say there's probably 3 or 4 of the corkscrewy kind of inversions, a lot of dives and down tunnels. The ride's concealed very well, which makes it a lot quieter too. Overall, I would say it's one of my favorite of the inverse. I don't think it is the favorite, but I would say it's pretty good. How would you describe Black Mamba?
Great.
As we shift down further this way to not have any copyright copyright problems with the midway music that's playing very loud, and it sounds like a catchy enough song. You're going to talk more about what you think of Black Mamba. I think it's amazing. It's so great. Thanks for asking me that question, Andrew. All right, perfect.
Let's fight.
Here's the other theme right here in Africa. More of the twisted track of Black Mamba. See, it kind of interacts here with the rock wall there as I'm focusing on the fence. A lot of fences around this ride, I'm sorry. I mean, I guess that makes sense, rides have fences. Hard to show off because it's really hard to see. There's only so many spots you can see it in the ride. It does have an hour wait, which it's okay because we can use our hotel quick pass, which puts us right up the exit. Here's another spot where Black Mamba goes around. I will say, while Winches and Taron have amazing fishing crews, the Black Mamba team does not. Also really interesting is their quick pass at this park on most rides goes right up the exit. And then they just kind of have you take the seats of other people. But at first there was only 3 of us, so they had us on the train. And then they waited and waited and waited until they had almost a full train of quick queue. Or before they let it, they opened the gates for everyone else. Meanwhile, we were probably in the station for 3-4 minutes. It was kind of interesting. And now, as you can see in the process of us talking, it's been about that long since they've sent a train. So at some point the train might come here. I might run out of things to say before that. But overall, I really like the ride. Interacting with the cave walls and everything makes the ride seem a lot faster. I will say I sat on an end seat this time, so I could see the elements a little more. When I sat in the middle, I really couldn't see the things we were interacting with, so the ride felt a little more boring. I'm sure this is an amazing ride in the front row. However, the quick pass doesn't get in the front row. With operations like they're having, there's no way I would wait for the front row. So, what we got is what we got. Hopefully the train comes around here soon, so you can see how fast it goes. It's really neat how it looks like you're going to kick the wall. And now we walk back this way, and it leads us from Africa into Berlin. Whenever I see the word Berlin, it makes me think of the movie Euro Trip. And Scotty, who doesn't know? Alright, so sending steps into another part of Mexico. So you've got your first part with Coronado Express or Adventure, whatever that ride's called. Now this one down here, the icon of this area is the Chipas. That's the log flume. Just look how pretty the Mexico section is. I think, well, it's the most awkward to get to. It's probably the most pretty. That dog is adorable, but also looks terrifying with all these people. So this is my point today. Its lines are just spilling out all over the place. They don't have enough queue to fit things, so they have the extended queues just all over the place. And it's just chaotic. However, I will say this area does look really pretty, and there's a lot of things going. There's the world's cheapest rock tunnel. Seems like a fun ride. Here we go, zooming in over here, you can actually see how steep the drop is. Just wait for a boat to come up and then we'll film it. I assume boats come every like 10 seconds or so. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'll just look a little foolish here. Water's flowing here. One comes, I think. No. Alright, well this part of it ended out. There it is. And as we walk past the gate one more time, back into Chinatown, I'll tell you that ends our adventure here at Phantasialand.
Same way it started, okay.
Yeah. Exactly. But an end cap to our time here. It's now raining again, which put a little end to our Taron adventure time. I will say the ride's still running, unlike America, where they don't shut their rides down in any sort of rain. So it's pretty heavily raining right now, but Taron is still running. It just sounds like needles to the face. So as much as I complained about all the crowds earlier today, not much to talk about tonight. As we just rode, we had exclusive hotel time where the guests staying in the hotels got to ride the rides. Or not the rides, but the new rides. So Tark and whatever the new one, Taron and Butt.
Right,
Rake, something like that. Well, we get to ride those.
No one was invited.
And there's nobody here. We could have sat on every train if we wanted to. The ride's so intense that occasionally took a lap. I also gotta say, it's kind of interesting. There seems to be a little bit of a theme park rivalry here, as ride hosts have been commenting about the fact that I'm wearing a Europa Park hoodie. I don't think they like that too much. But amazing ride, rode it 10 times tonight. Funny, it had an hour, 90 minutes, 120 minutes today. Down times, we just rode it 10 times in 30 minutes. So how about that? Amazing ride, especially in row 2. It's gonna be weird in row 2. Now, in the process of this, we have left the park, and we're now in our hotel where it's dry. And the lights are on, yay! So thank you for watching this video and all of our other videos here on the channel. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/InTheLoop Podcast. And I'll see you guys on the midway.